Hey everyone, welcome to the ranking. Here's my ranking of J.J. Abrams' movies. Yes, these are movies that are directed by J.J. Abrams. I'm gonna rank all his movies that he's directed from my least favorite to my favorite. He's only directed 5 movies, so it made it a little easier to do this ranking, but still, this guy's got a great filmography. Yeah, I'll call him the king of the nerds. Yes, he's right there with Joss Whedon, but who knows? They're both the king of the nerds, I guess, because I'm a big fan of both of them, but this is J.J. Abrams' list, and I thought I'd rank all his movies because he's a great director, and I like his movies, and let's just get to it. Here's my ranking of J.J. Abrams' movies from my least favorite to my favorite. Alright, coming in number 5 is Star Trek Into Darkness. Yes, he's done 2 Star Trek movies, and Star Trek Into Darkness is a good movie. It's a movie I enjoy. Yes, there are people out there that really don't like this movie because they're like calling it a ripoff of The Wrath of Khan and stuff, and they really don't like Star Trek Into Darkness. I like this movie. It's good. It's not as good as its predecessor, but I do like Star Trek Into Darkness. It's a good movie. It's visually stunning, it's very compelling at times, and it just feels really fun, and it feels like Star Trek, and I like the new cast, and they're all great in the movie. I love Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Zoe Saldana, Simon Pegg is a great Scotty. He's probably the best Scotty I've seen. Simon Pegg's great, but I love the new cast. Bruce Greenwood's great as Captain Pike, or Admiral Pike, but yeah, I love Benedict Cumberbatch as Khan. Yes, he's not as good as the original Khan, but he's still a very intimidating villain. Yes, the third act does, kind of rip off Wrath of Khan a bit, which is really noticeable and a little sloppy. And there is a bit of a Deus Ex Machina at the ending, which is a little annoying, but all in all, I do like Star Trek Into Darkness. I know some hardcore Star Trek fans don't like it, but I enjoy it. It's definitely probably the weakest J.J. Abrams movie, but Star Trek Into Darkness is still a good movie, and I do enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Come number 4 is Mission Impossible 3. Yes, this was the first movie I think he directed, and yeah, he did a lot of producing and writing, like in Cloverfield and stuff. He did a lot of good producing and writing work, but this was his directorial debut with Mission Impossible 3, and after the second Mission Impossible movie, I don't think anyone was excited to see, Ethan Hunt return with a new team and Ving Rhames is back. I don't think anyone gave a shit because the second one was such a letdown. First one was good, the second one was a letdown, but this really brought us back to Mission Impossible, and this brought new Mission Impossible fans because actually when I was younger, I didn't watch a lot of Mission Impossible, but when I watched this third one, I got into the franchise, and I was excited to see a fourth one, and the fourth and fifth one were even better. But the third one was directed by J.J. Abrams, and this was a really great action-packed movie. This is probably the biggest action movie out of the franchise. Yes, actually, well, the Rogue Nation's probably a bigger movie, but this one has a lot more action. The action is more consistent in this movie out of the whole franchise, but it's not my favorite, but it's definitely a really good Mission Impossible movie. It's probably like my third favorite out of the franchise. I really like it. I like Tom Cruise. I think Philip Seymour Hoffman is the best Mission Impossible villain out of the whole franchise. He is fantastic in this movie. I love the story. I love how it introduced us to Benji, Simon Pegg's character. He was really good. Lawrence Fishburne was great. I always love seeing friggin' Ving Rhames in this movie. I love him in the movie, and the whole cast, I love the team effort. I love the team in this movie with John Rhys Meyers, Maggie Q, and Ving Rhames and stuff. They were all great. The action scenes were really good. It was really intense. The opening really gripped me because, kind of tricks you. It's the ending, but do you know what's really going on? And I really like it. Brought back the feel of the first Mission Impossible, but also bring its own thing, being a straight action movie, not just this espionage movie, but an action-packed movie. And I really like Mission Impossible 3. It's a great movie, and it's my 4th favorite J.J. Abrams movie. Come number 3 is Super 8. Yes, this is a great movie. This is a phenomenal movie. This has 3 acts, and each of the 3 acts is like a different story. Like the first act is a bunch of these kids, and they're making a student film. They're making a zombie movie and stuff, and they're filming on their Super 8 cameras. But then at the end of the first act, they see a train accident, and inside this train accident is an alien. Yes, an alien is on Earth. He just escaped from Area 51. And that begins the second act, which is the lead kid's father, played by Kyle Chandler. He's investigating the issue, finding out what's happening, why are these people going missing. And then the third act just turns to a straight-up sci-fi thriller. People are going missing, these kids are on the move, they're trying to rescue their friend, played by Elle Fanning, and then they find out about the alien, and if he's really good or not, and if they should send him back home and stuff. This is a great sci-fi thriller dramatic film, and it's also a bit of a coming-of-age story, too, with the children. I love it. The first act is probably the best part with the kids making their movies. It was very funny, and all these kid actors are really solid kid actors. They're very good in this movie, and the visuals are fantastic. It's a very gripping movie. It's a bit thrilling and even a bit scary at times, especially in the third act when you see all these people even dying by this alien, and you don't know if this alien is good or not. And when you find out the ending, it's very good, and it's very satisfying, and it's very well written too. And I love this movie. I find this a very captivating, very visually stunning science fiction film, and I really like it. It's definitely a personal favorite of mine of J.J. Abrams' work, and again, I know there's some people that don't like it, some people think, oh, it's like an E.T. sort of ripoff. It's not. The third act is a bit of an E.T. ripoff, but the rest of the movie is not. It's its own original story, and I love Super 8. I think it's a great sci-fi movie, and it's one of my favorite J.J. Abrams movies. I love it. Coming number 2 is Star Trek. Yes, 2009 gave us Star Trek. This rebooted the whole franchise of the original Star Trek story, and I love how they did it in this one because it's not a straight-up remake, it's a reboot. It's an alternate reality of these Star Trek characters, of Kirk, Uhura, Spock, Scotty, Chekhov, Sulu. All of them are very different in this movie. Their personalities are different. Their story arcs are different. It's because it's an alternate reality. And the movie even flat out tells you it's an alternate reality. Like, the original Star Trek universe still exists in this world, but since Nero went through the black hole, went through time, he changed everyone's course in time and changed everyone's future and stuff. That's why it's a different story. And I like that because you can do a lot with this story and build a big franchise with it. And I think J.J. Abrams did an amazing job with this Star Trek movie. This is one of my favorite Star Trek movies. It's not better than Wrath of Khan. That's still my favorite, but this one is really close. I loved this movie. I love the whole cast. Again, Chris Pine, Zoe Saldana, Zachary Quinto, Simon Pegg, Bruce Greenwood, even Eric Bana as the villain Nero was great. The cameo of Leonard Nimoy was awesome. Live long and prosper. And it's a very quotable movie. It's a very funny movie. It's a very good action sci-fi thrill ride. It's stunning. It's exciting. It's entertaining. It's just Star Trek. This brought Star Trek back, like, after Next Generation ended. We didn't know what Star Trek would, if Star Trek would come back again, and in 2009 it brought Star Trek back again, and I loved it. J.J. Abrams is the king of the nerds because he brought Star Trek back, and he also brought another franchise back, which is my number 1. And my number 1 favorite J.J. Abrams movie is Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. I think I've talked to death about this movie, and I apologize because I love this movie so much. Clearly, I love this movie a lot. I love its characters, I love its practical effects, I love its classic story. Yes, it's kind of like an homage to A New Hope, but it's still its own story with its own characters. I love these new characters. I love Rey, I love Finn, I love Kylo Ren, I love General Hux, I love Snoke, I love all these new characters. Yes, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Adam Driver, Andy Serkis, Domhnall Gleeson, Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron. These are all phenomenal actors, and they give great performances in this movie. It brought back Harrison Ford as Han Solo. Come on, Chewie, we're home. Tell me you didn't get goosebumps at that moment, and bringing back the Millennium Falcon and stuff. It was so great. Yes, Mark Hamill was a bit underused. That is kind of an understatement, but yeah. I can't wait to see where this movie franchise goes. There's so much possibilities the Star Wars story can go, especially with Rogue One, the prequel story about the Rebel Alliance and stuff. I'm curious to see where that goes, but I'm curious to see where 8 and 9 goes because Star Wars Episode 7 Force Awakens was such a fascinating, interesting, entertaining movie. I'm so excited and curious to see where these characters and this story is going. I loved this movie. Force Awakens brought Star Wars back. After the prequels, we never thought Star Wars would have a good movie again, but The Force Awakens brought Star Wars back, and that is mainly due to Lawrence Kasdan and J.J. Abrams. So yeah, that was my ranking of all J.J. Abrams movies from my list to my favorite. So yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me, did you rate this list? If not, give me all your rankings of J.J. Abrams' movies from your least favorite to your favorite. Comment below and let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.